When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teaching 7th grade math in the New York City public schools. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests. I gave homework against math. When the work came back, I calculated grade. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have direct permit IQ scores. Some of my smart kids weren't doing so well, and that got me thinking. The kinds of things you need to learn in 7th grade math, sure, they are hard. Ratio, decimal, and area of parallelograms. But these concepts are not impossible, and I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn the material if they work hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective from the psychological perspective. In addition, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ, but what if you're doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily. So I left the classroom and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings, and in every study my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children would advance first in competitions. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhood, asking which teachers are going to be here in teaching by the end of school year and of those who will be in the most effective and improving learning outcomes for their students. We partner with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their job and who's going to learn the most money. In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it was psychological intelligence, it wasn't good looks, psychical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was great.
Grit is patience and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the months, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires, and they waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turned out that gritter kids were significantly more likely to graduate, even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure. Things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grade matters. It's also in school, especially for kids at risk for dropping out. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? How do I teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent does make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitment. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to measures of talent. So far, the best idea I've heard building grit in kids is something called growth mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenges, they are much more likely to persevere when they fail, because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit. But we need more, and that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas and our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids greater. Thank you.